Exomologiste tokirio te agathos alleluia.
Otis ton neona to eleos aftu alleluia.
Hey, peace be with you.
My name's Bronwyn.
Peace be with you. How are you? Nice to meet you. Peace be with you. Peace be with you. Is this your first day in the corner?
Yes, it is.
Can you tell?
Yeah, I can tell.
Look like tourists.
Cut, you do. You give off all the tourist vibes all at once.
How do we avoid that?
You can't, not in this place. Not in this place. It's also because you've come as a family.
Yeah.
And this is not really a family-friendly place. You know, there's a lot of violence here.
Yeah.
So people who know about the violence don't often bring their kids. You know. But I think you're good because a lot of the violence has already happened.
Oh, really?
You know, and also it seems to be clustered over there at the moment. You can tell where the fiery, the fighting looks like it might start, because that tends to be where the crowds gather.
Right.
You know, so for the sake of your family, if you see a big horde, move the other way. Yeah.
Thank you for the tip.
Yeah. Where are you guys from?
We're from New Zealand.
From New Zealand.
Yeah, I've actually watched many hours of your clips. So.
Okay.
Yeah, we were in London. I wanted to come and say thank you very much for what you do.
Well, I'm glad it's been an aid and an assist to you by the grace of God.
Your courage is incredible.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we need more of that in the church.
Yes.
Because one of the reasons why the church is not being taken seriously, one of the reasons why the church is not succeeding in this great struggle that it's on against sin, the world, and the devil, is because a lot of Christians are just too comfortable.
Absolutely.
And a lot of church leaders are too comfortable. And their comfortableness has turned them into cowards.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
When I read that passage in Revelation about murderers and adulterers and cowards not getting into heaven,
Yeah.
that is a scary passage, man.
It is a scary
Because
passage,
there are
right?
so many of us wandering around like
Well, here's the
cowards.
thing. Here's the thing that'll really bring it home to you, right? If someone's coming into the church and they're coming in alcoholic, addicted to alcohol, the church will intervene, right? If someone's openly saying, I'm having an affair, the church will intervene, right? If we see that someone is practicing certain sins, the church feels comfortable to try and tackle them. Yet we all acknowledge that there's cowardice in our leadership,
Yeah.
and yet we don't challenge it.
I've never ever heard it preached before. No
Yeah.
one wants to preach on cowardice.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Cowardice is a sin that will, and the reason why cowardice is a sin that drags you to hell is because cowardice it means that you'll back down to evil.
Yes.
Yeah?
Absolutely.
It means you back down to evil. And right now, the church is consistently compromised with evil. You know, and compromised with liberalism, essentially, because it doesn't want to get into a conflict that will lead to persecution.
Exactly. It wants to please people, not
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Which is great now, but when you're standing in front of him on the
Yeah,
debates, what are you
and
gonna
the
say?
thing is, you only can please people for a certain time before they turn on you. You know, because with every compromise, the next compromise is demanded.
Yes.
And at some point, every Christian goes, no further than this. Every Christian draws the line at some point, but the moment you draw that line, the persecution starts. And so, why not just draw the line at the beginning?
Exactly. Don't even start down.
Don't even start down the path of compromise, right?
Otherwise, you have to say, I did compromise, but I won't compromise
Any further. Yeah, exactly. And so the Church of England is a pathetic example of this. The Church of England is trying to make a song and a dance about how a euthanasia is evil, right? Because we've passed a euthanasia law in the UK,
Okay.
right? But the Church of England, when it stands up and says euthanasia is evil, it sounds pathetic because it already agrees with abortion.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, you agree with murdering little babies in their wombs,
Yes.
so why don't you agree with killing elderly people that are 6 months from death? It just sounds a hollow protest, and that's the danger of compromise. If you keep compromising, it becomes harder and harder to take a stand.
Yeah, well, you've got no way to justify your position.
Yeah.
It's so easy to poke holes in it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And to turn back means you have to turn on who you used to be, which is humiliating.
It's humiliating, but that's exactly what needs to happen in the Church of England. The Church of England needs to go that we've been getting it wrong from the 1970s, and we repent of everything from the 1970s to now, and actually we are against divorce, we are in favour of Sunday trading laws, we are against abortion, we don't believe in euthanasia, marriage is between one man and one woman. Like, it needs to go back and repent and uphold all these ethical positions. And when it upholds all these ethical positions, it will sound more credible when it says you should become a disciple of Jesus Christ.
Because the church will actually stand for something,
Exactly.
rather than going along with anybody else.
Exactly. I got loads of men coming to me all the time because they see in me someone who will stand up for something. Right?
Men are desperate for that.
Yeah, they are. And so it takes more men to stand up. Now, it doesn't mean that you do what you see me do on a video clip out on the street.
Thank God.
Honestly. Because Speaker's Corner is a unique kind of place, right? It's a unique kind of place. And you can do things in Speaker's Corner that you can't do out there on the street, right? Just by the convention of Speaker's Corner, right? But we nonetheless should have that same measure of conviction out on the street, even if that conviction is expressed differently. Does that make sense? Yeah?
Yeah, just a matter of starting it.
Yeah.
I'm really pleased you guys have this forum here. I know it must suck turning up every Sunday to do battle in the sun or in the snow.
Well, I've got to admit, I am melting at this moment in time, but nonetheless, like, in the last couple of months, the police have done a better job recently in the park. I'm really surprised. I don't know what's happened. Someone in charge has definitely got a grip of the situation. And it's now becoming a pleasant place to evangelize again.
Okay, great.
You know? But it's still an aggressive place. It's still a contendered place.
I almost wonder if more people brought their children, if people would realise they have to chill out a little.
No, it won't happen.
You don't reckon?
You don't understand the mindset that we're up against here, right? There's a lot of Islamists who come into this park that genuinely have a belief in their heart that they are superior to the rest of us,
Absolutely.
and that you're just dirty kuffar, right? So what happens to you is just comedy for them, right? Like, that's their mindset. And lots of liberal, comfortable Christians just haven't gotten to that fact that there are, not all Muslims in this park, but a lot of the Muslims in this park do have that attitude. And so they don't care if you're kids, so long as it's not a Muslim child or a Muslim woman. They don't care because they already see you as being worth less than them. Yeah? And that's literally taught in their books. You know?
Oh, as a woman, I feel it.
Yeah.
Interactions I have with people who are really hardcore.
Yeah.
Yeah, they definitely treat you like dirt.
Yeah.
You're an animal. You're not a human.
Well, one of the examples to just demonstrate that is that a Muslim man would never approach a Muslim woman that they don't know in public and freely mix with them, because they would say that that is to dishonour that woman.
Yes.
It would be to behave badly to that woman. But they would do it to you. And the reason why they would do it to you is because you're not worth the same as a Muslim woman. Right? And they're very good at tricking people. Like, they'll say to, like, a Muslim man will say to a non-Muslim woman, you know, because I respect you and because I honour you so much, I need to ask the permission of your father to marry you. And then the woman goes, oh, he's so romantic, right? I know, I'm so bold, right? But actually, the reason why he thinks he needs to ask his father is because he doesn't think that you can make the decision on your own. That the man must make the decision for you. Yeah? And so actually, when he says that to the Christian woman, she hears it in one way, but he's actually meant it in another way.
But do you think many women would fall for it? Because
Loads.
Are you serious?
Yeah, tons.
They're not often very convincing. I find it false. I don't find it.
Well, the thing is, a lot of Muslim guys are very romantic. They're very good at doing romance, right? You know, because they've still got that old attitude of, you know, the guy needs to step up and woo the woman, which is what a lot of women like, and a lot of what Christian men have lost. They're a bit ballless about going after their wives clearly you're an exception. And solely, and well, that's all you need. And hopefully your son will also be an exception as well. But we need to recover that. But in our culture, a lot of liberal Islamophilia means that you can't point these things out about Islam, and if you do, you're guilty of a prejudice, even if they're true. And so, when you point these things out, a liberal woman raised in a nice liberal middle class way will go, "Oh, you're just lying. You're just making it up."
Yeah.
Right? Excuse me, bro. But it's taught in the madhabs, right? It's taught in the madhabs. The father must agree to the marriage, otherwise the nikah is not valid.
Yeah.
Right? That's a legal opinion. You know, so they're saying it. Now, don't get me wrong, there are exceptions, because in Sharia law there's an exception to everything.
Oh, really?
Like, yeah. It's like, yeah, we've got an exception to that rule, and then we've got the exception to the exception, and then we've got the exception to the exception that gets you back to the original rule, and it's just like it's basically, Sharia law is just basically a system of law by which men get to do what they want, and everybody else sucks it up.
Yeah, okay.
Muslim men get to do what they want, and everybody else sucks it up. That's what Sharia law is. And the way it works is that Muslim male jurists will come up with a convoluted exception so that a guy can do whatever he likes. Yeah, basically. There's an exception for nearly everything.
That's often the way it looks. Even at a high level, looking at these societies, there's clearly the people who can do what they want and the people who do what they're told.
Yeah.
And you don't have to know anything about it. You can just look as an outsider.
Yeah.
And that's fairly apparent.
Yeah. And within the paradigm, it goes the Muslim caliph, then Muslim men, then Muslim women, then Christian and Jewish men, then Christian and Jewish women, and then the rest.
Oh, so we still rate?
Oh yeah, we rate. Like, we're below Muslim women.
Okay.
Right? So the value of your life is worth half that of a Muslim man. Right? If a Muslim man kills a Muslim man, the family of the victim go, we demand the life of the killer. And a Sharia court could decide to give them that life for life. Or the Muslim family can say, we want blood money. And let's just say the blood money is £1,000, right? If a Muslim kills a Christian man, the Christian family can't demand the life of the killer, right? So there you've immediately got an injustice. You've got a disparity in the law. But the Christian family can demand blood money. But the blood money will only be £500. So you're literally valued as half that of a Muslim man.
And as a Muslim woman, if a Muslim woman is killed?
So it is less than a Muslim man.
But more than us.
But more than you.
Okay. It's quite a system, isn't it? Well thought out.
Yeah. Well, it's all worked out through a process called fiqh, right? That's done through legal schools called madhabs. Now the thing is, we Christians do have an equivalent to this, which is that each Christian state, right? Like if New Zealand was a Christian state like the Maoris want it to be, right? And let's hope they win, right? If it is a Christian state, then the government is the equivalent to an Islamic law school. Because it would make Christian law according to Christian principles or Christian values, right? So we're not against the idea of religiously inspired laws, right? But in a Christian state, the law that would be passed would apply to everybody equally.
Yeah. These days, anyway.
Yeah. So if a Christian state passed a law that said, right, if you kill someone, you'll be executed, then that would apply to everyone regardless of what religion they are.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah? There wouldn't be like, oh, it's a different rule for you. Because equality under the law is a deeply rooted Christian principle. And what we're seeing is, as the West and the Western world has started moving away from its Christian roots, it's losing the concept of equality under the law.
Yeah.
We like the moment we admitted that you could abort a child, we lost equality under the law.
I think is it the With or the Who? One of their goals that they're trying to achieve is less inequality.
Sorry?
They're trying to achieve less inequality.
Yeah.
So instead of going after equality, they're trying to slide in this sort of.
Yeah, they're looking for equality of outcomes. They're looking for equality of outcomes. And so that means that very recently in the UK, just this year, the jurists were gonna pass a decision, a legal guidance that said if you were from a religious or an ethnic minority, the judge had to consider your background before he sentenced you to see if you were suffering from any kind of depravities, regardless of the crime.
Yes.
But if you were a white Christian male, they would just judge you on the bare facts of the crime.
And that passed? That's
No, thankfully it got stopped because Labour realised that they were onto a loser and they stopped it. But we came that close to getting a religious and racial apartheid in the UK. And we've already kind of drifted into a religious apartheid because if a man desecrates a Bible in public, he's not going to get arrested. But if you desecrate a Quran in public, we've got examples of people being arrested and prosecuted and found guilty and punished. Right? But we've got countless of examples of people desecrating the Bible without any consequence whatsoever. Right? So I want to be clear to you as a Christian family that we are absolutely in the fight of our lives as Christians. Right? Like if we lose the West, we don't have other places to run. Right? So we have to fight tooth and nail for a Christian West. But don't make the mistake of fighting for a liberal secular state. Right? Don't make the mistake of fighting for a 1950s New Zealand.
Yeah. Oh, New Zealand is absolutely shot at the moment.
Yeah.
It's a truly awful place.
Sorry,
to
the lady's just talking. Lady's just talking, bro. No, I'm talking. Go on.
Yeah, we're horrified with the way New Zealand responded to the coronavirus. I was so horrified at the lack of backbone that Kiwis have. New Zealand is not a good place to be. It's very peaceful on the outside, and it's an absolute cesspit if you look beneath the surface.
Yeah. And the point that I would say to you is the reason for that lack of backbone, the reason for that lack of cowardice, is because a lot of Christians are influenced by liberalism. And in liberalism, the only thing that you've got to live for is this world and the comforts of this world. But if we're truly disciples of Christ, then what we're living for is the kingdom of God, and the kingdom of God being established in this world. And that our future is held secure by the work of Jesus. And if our future is secure, then we have nothing to fear. And so we shouldn't fear pushing forward for the kingdom of God, even if it brings about earthly consequence. Now, obviously, you have to act with wisdom. Yeah, I'm not saying go out and be so brave that you're like the knights of the medieval world that were more brave than wise, and thus lost many a battle that they could have won because they took the courageous route rather than the wise route. Yeah.
Shrewd as snakes.
Right, shrewd as snakes. But we've got to have both brains, brawn, and wisdom. Right? And we've got to combine that together in our fight against liberalism, in our fight against Islamization, in our fight against communism, in our fight against ethno-nationalism, or our fight against any form of nationalism that makes the state into a god.
So how can we best do that? Support our nation and stop it from being taken over?
So I would say,
not leave it to my kids or my grandchildren.
Yeah. So I would say, firstly, we're fighting for the church, not the nation.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But the way that we do that is that we use we fill up all the space that the law allows us to fill up. Right. And where we filled up all the space that the law allows us to fill up, we then change the law so we can have more space, right? Let me give you an example, something concrete. So, like, you've obviously got people, they complain a lot, oh, Muslims pray in the street, and they take up the street. Well, Christians can do that. They complain about Muslims, oh, they do these processions in the street. Well, Christians can do that. So, use all the space you can. There's no crime in saying, I'm going to boycott halal meat, or I'm going to demand that they serve non-halal meat to my children, right? So wherever the law allows you to fight the battle, yeah? use the fullness of your rights as citizens, but then also by pressure and by political campaigning, change the law so that we win even more ground.
So I need to get like-minded people in my church to start going out in the streets more, evangelising, praying in the streets perhaps, get the church bells going again.
These would all be starts in the right direction. The first battle that we all have, though, in our churches is that most Christians are just comfortable people living comfortable lives, and they don't think that there's anything to fight. Yeah. Now, bro, you've held your hand up, you've not interrupted. Do you want to come in and say something?
First question, are you these guys over?
Sorry, that's not on the topic we're talking about, brother. I'm sorry. Go on. Do you want to come back on something, bro?
No, I've lost my trail of thought now.
Right,
I'll
fair
jump
enough.
in again after.
Yeah. So in terms of what we've got to do is, I want to try and summarize it in a single phrase. As Christians, we need to fight for a new Christendom. Did you hear what I said? We need to fight for a new Christendom. Now, the funny thing is, England, the United Kingdom constitutionally is a theocratic state. The head of the state is the head of the church, and we have bishops sitting in the House of Lords who are lawmakers, right? It's theocratic on paper, right? Rather than recoil from that fact, I would say that what we need to do is enliven that fact and make it more, not less real. And actually build a Christian theocracy that creates laws according to our values and our doctrines. And that will allow us, by that narrative, by that cause, it will allow us to have both the courage, the conviction and the direction to reform society in a Christian way.
But the truth is, it's happening already.
Yeah.
Just the Muslims are doing it better than the Christians.
Yeah.
We kind of had
For
a
now.
head start, but
Yeah.
we lost.
Yeah.
I say we, but to be honest, Islam's not a big problem in New Zealand.
Yet.
Sure.
Yet. Everybody says this. Americans say this. New Zealanders say this. I promise you, you should always finish that sentence with a yet. Because if you don't keep your guard up, you'll go like Japan's going. Like Japan has just imported a bunch of Muslims, and now they're having problems. Yes.
We lived there for a little while, but
Right. So we've got to filter our migration system. Yeah.
We've still got a chance to get a grip on it, haven't we?
Oh yeah. The situation is not lost. It can be reversed.
We need to start.
But we've all got to start waking up. We've got to be serious. Like there's been multiple murder attempts in this corner by Islamists. They're determined to win. We need to be equally determined to win. And if we're anything less than utterly determined to win, we will lose. So you've got to steel yourselves. You know, as Henry VIII said, King Henry said in Henry V or the Shakespearean play, when he talks to the Englishman, you know, stiffen the sinews, widen the nostrils, like inflame the passions, fill the wall with our English dead, right? The idea being that the cost of victory must be won at any cost. And as Christians, so long as we're being faithful, we should be willing to pay any cost to win. Even our deaths and imprisonments, even our persecutions, even our villainizations, even our impoverishments.
We just get a backbone, don't we?
Yeah, basically.
Stand up for ourselves. We've been so we're going to get unevenly yoked, and then we've had it.
Yeah, and but we've been unevenly yoked to liberalism. It's liberalism that's made us weak. It's the Enlightenment that's made us weak. We've got to throw off these things before we can even begin to imagine the horizon that we fight in. Does that make sense?
I think we've been too successful. The West was.
We're
comfortable. We have
comfortable.
No wars.
We're
not
too
fighting
comfortable.
anything. The guard goes down. The training drops. And
Yeah.
now we're easy.
But you look on the streets of England now and they're full of tension.
Okay.
They're full of tension with alt-left versus patriotic movements. They're full of tension in England because we've got all the ingredients of a civil war in this country. Now, I don't know if a civil war is inevitable or not. That's known to God, not to me. And I pray that civil war is not inevitable. But what I do know is if a civil war breaks out, the church is just going to lose because it isn't even begun to prepare in any kind of seriousness for what it does in a conflict. And so we've got to start preparing for what is obviously on the horizon, or one possibility of a horizon.
I think the church has shown in recent years that it is cowardly and it does go along with what it's told to do.
Yeah.
It didn't stand up and look after the sick people. It didn't go out and make sure the homeless were okay. It didn't do any of its jobs.
It was secondary to the state.
It was secondary to the state, and that's because a lot of Christians, they think of themselves as New Zealanders, or they think of themselves as British. And so they associate themselves to the national stories.
That's their allegiance.
Exactly. What we need to be doing.
They're just
Yeah.
scared, to be
Well, I
honest.
think
they're
I think it's syncretism. I think it is the worship joining of another God to the worship of Yahweh.
Yeah, okay.
We need to frame our lives in the story that the Bible gives us about who we are as Christians, which are priests that offer up their souls and bodies to be a living sacrifice to the Lord their God, which is their act of worship as a sensible people, a holy nation, a royal priesthood, a people set apart, whose cry out is, "Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven," and offer up their souls and bodies to bring about that reality. And if that means that we come into conflict with our government or the governmental agenda, then that's what we do.
Yeah.
For most, exactly, for most of Christian history, all the heroes of the faith were considered the villains of the societies that they were working in. But those were the heroes. So how have we got to the point where if a Christian is considered the villain of their society for Jesus, the church kicks them while they're down and goes, "We've got nothing to do with that guy. No, we're not like him."
Just like the Pharisees.
They're cowards.
It's a repeat.
Yeah.
It's a repeat of the pattern.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm afraid the church has got nothing on the Pharisees.
Yeah, so we've got to muster ourselves. We've got to muster ourselves. We've got to enliven the church to that great and holy campaign that we are on, that pilgrimage, that crusade that we are on as Christians to establish the kingdom of God in the real world against all opposition. Anyway.
It's been a pleasure to meet you. Opposition's coming from my church. I mentioned some of the things you teach.
Yeah. Peace be with you.
You too.
Peace with you. Peace with you. Peace with you. Go on, bro.
I was going to say, I mentioned some of the things you mentioned, like that Mecca didn't exist till the 8th century.
Yeah.
I get absolutely lynched in the Catholic congregation. Censored. Don't mention it on the WhatsApp group. Speak about it in person, which I get that.
Well, no. Wait. Why should you?
Screenshot it or whatever.
Why should you get that? No, I would say you should push back on that and go, look, facts are facts regardless of how you feel about them. And if you don't like the facts, then prove that they're not facts. But if they are facts, then surely you should say to them, don't we believe that all truth should be spoken in love? And so if this is a truth, shouldn't we speak it in love? And so if it's not a truth, I'll stop saying it. But if it is a truth, I'll stop saying it. But if it is a truth, you should speak the truth in love.
Yeah, no matter where it is.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, there's people dropping out the WhatsApp group.
Yeah.
And all sorts, without even explaining themselves.
Right.
Or coming up with an argument.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
pathetic.
actually, no, brother, you're doing a good thing there. Because the way to get the liberals out of the church is to be be brash to the point that the liberals don't want to be around us. And that's how we get rid of the liberals.
Yeah,
because
to make the church stronger again, get rid of them.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so one of the ways to do that is say you're a liberal, is to get as close to the liberal as you can and go, well, actually, I believe Mecca doesn't exist. Yeah, and speak as if you're speaking for this guy. And then this guy goes, no, I've got nothing to do with them. And they back off from you. And eventually, if we just keep saddling up to them and then speaking in a way that they don't like, eventually they'll bounce out of the church. Yeah, and that's one of the strategies we can employ to recapture the church. So when you drive out the liberals from the WhatsApp group, right?
Keeping all the strong ones there.
Yeah.
So we can make changes there.
Exactly.
Because there's no liberals to oppose us in there.
But I would also encourage you, exactly, you got it. I would also encourage you to get into church governance.
Yeah.
Get into the church council.
I wouldn't know how to.
Ask
I've
the
been
priest.
studying really. I've been leaning to Christ for about 12 months. So I'm quite new to it. That's why.
All right.
Yeah.
I trust you. Trust me, bro. There's going to be people on the church council that are pushing some right pish posh. Yeah? Like, you've got the right mindset, even if you don't have all the knowledge. Keep going in the knowledge, but the only way that we're going to take back our churches from the liberals is that we get into church government. That's the only way to do it.
I try to do, yeah.
And then when we're in church government, we angle the church in such a way that the liberals don't want to associate with it and they bugger off.
Yeah, good.
It will happen really fast.
Yeah, it will. Because we all know that progressives aren't tolerant. They're not, liberals aren't tolerant.
I was getting told that Islam was an Abrahamic religion, and then I said it's not. There's no excuse anymore. I just ChatGPT'd it.
Yeah.
And proved it wrong in a second.
Yeah.
Said they've got no archaeological, genealogical,
connection to Abraham.
Archaeological, nothing.
Yeah.
No ties whatsoever.
Yeah.
And
Great.
Because they were all saying, oh yes, but it is an Abrahamic religion.
It really isn't.
And I said, listen, just ChatGPT. It takes a second.
But you could also point out that it's not an Abrahamic religion because Abraham was not there was no covenantal promise of revelation through Ishmael.
Yeah, even if they were connected to Ishmael.
Yeah, which also they can't prove. They can't prove that.
Prove anyway. And even if they could, it still doesn't.
It would be
matter
spurious.
Anyway.
It would be it would be fiction. It would be fictional.
Israel,
but even if they did prove it, it would be wrong. Yeah, Islam is not an Abrahamic religion, and you shouldn't be frightened to challenge that because again, remember, the Catholic Church believes in all that is true. So the point is, if it is true, it can be said.
Yeah.
So if they're saying that you shouldn't say it, it's on them to prove that what you're saying is not
I was
true.
getting Pope quotes and everything, thinking they were checkmates.
Yeah.
A Pope in 1965 saying we worship the same God and all stuff like this.
Yeah.
But Popes can get it wrong as well, you know.
Right. Can I tell you how to answer that one? Right.
And they were like, I'm being charitable with you here. You've just denied what the Pope said.
All right. Can I give
wrong
can I
on
get
that specific thing?
I agree with you that the Pope is wrong. But that is not an argument that is going to work with a Catholic.
No, they got the back.
So let me tell you an argument that does work with a Catholic.
Yeah.
Is agreed. Muslims try to worship the same God in the same way that Cain tried to worship the same God as Abel, but God rejected the worship of Cain. Yeah?
That's a good answer. Yeah.
And that is an answer that will work better in Catholic circles than the Pope got it wrong. I agree with you, the Pope got it wrong, but that's not an argument.
You think it's like
completely
perfect.
You could also say to them, did the Borgias get it wrong? The thing is, within the Catholic tradition, there is a lot of strong evidence for lots of saints and lots of church fathers.
I believe a lot of it, but sometimes they're wrong, and if it is, I'll call it out.
Yeah, but I just think it's an easier argument to make to say, they try to worship the same God as Christians. They try to worship the same God as Abraham, just like Cain tried to worship the same God as Abel. But just as God rejected the worship of Cain, so God rejects the worship of Muslims.
Good one.
Yeah? All right.
Nice one, Bob.
Peace with you, brother. God bless.
Can I ask you a couple more questions?
Yeah, go for it.
Well, you're not.
Yeah, go for it. I'm here.
Because I've only just started studying.
Just to let you know, bro, I've got to go at 5, so you've got me for about 25 minutes.
Well, you know what?
Yeah.
I'll leave it then.
Go on. I got me for 25 minutes.
Some structure in my studying.
Yeah.
Because I think I'm overwhelming myself.
Right.
I'm trying to learn everything at once. I'm trying to learn everything at once.
Yeah, you wanted me to give you like a curriculum?
Exactly, yeah, basically, yeah.
All right.
So I'm trying to learn the Gospels and the Old Testament.
Yeah.
I'm trying to learn a bit of Islam, a bit of history, and at the end of the month, my head's completely
For now,
battered.
I would say dump everything that isn't learning about Christianity.
Just solely commit to that at the moment.
And for now, I would say dump everything except learning about the New Testament.
Yeah. Okay.
Then when you've got a reasonably good grasp of the New Testament, go into the Old Testament, and then go into history. And then when you've got that triangle set, then go back into Islam and other religions and ideologies. Yeah, just as a basic structure. Because if you're finding it overwhelming, then let's focus on what's most important.
I'm too impatient. I'm trying to learn it all now.
Yeah, well that's
So
good.
I'm doing too much at once.
If you go onto my website on my card, I run a discipleship class that runs every Monday and Tuesday.
I'm on it. The Apologetics class.
Right. So you'll learn a lot through there, but it's also discipleship where we learn about our faith as well.
We did conservatism last week.
Yeah.
We're doing
polemics. No, we're back into the parables this week.
Well, I'll speak to you Monday anyway.
All right.
Take
Peace
care,
be with you,
Bob.
brother.
Nice
God
one,
bless.
Bob.